Turtle Island.
A runner is a messenger. In the days of the past, the horses had left Turtle Island using the bridges created by the Ice Age. They traveled all over Mother Earth, and 15,000 years ago, there were no more horses in the Americas. 7,000 years ago, horses had almost vanished from this earth, except for the few who had found refuge in the still open grassland steppes of Ukraine and Central Asia. The horses only came back home with Christopher Columbus on his second trip to America in 1494. So for all these years, the runners have a very specific role in their societies. Here in Northern America and all over the world, they were messengers, they were scouts, they were hunters, they were guides. And as they provided for their communities, that made them true warriors. Today we're gonna leave Alcatraz Island to run all the way to Washington, D.C. This would have never been possible without all the people who have been in the struggle to keep their cultures alive through the years of massacres, genocide, oppression, slavery, bigotry, brutality, prejudice, racism. Their force will be with us. Their spirit will be with us. This is why we do this sacred run, for us to remember who we are, what we are, and to strengthen ourselves with all of our relations. We will be guided on our journey by Nawa Cumming, also known as Dennis J. Banks, to deliver only one message. All life is sacred.
This is not bush country. This belongs to us. In 1969, Alcatraz happened, and that started a great movement to recover land, to recover pride, to recover heritage, to recover languages, to recover music, things that were forbidden, that we were forbidden to do during the early parts of last century.
And our stories from the early people are that we came from the West.
Bonjour, Nigan Awewidan, Disney Kaz, or Sishak, Odain, Anishinaabe, Wichita. Clyde Dalcourt, one of the founders and national director of the American Indian Movement. It was an honor for me to be here and go to Alcatraz Island today and share some words and prayer with all that are participating in this sacred run.
This country wakes up because of one walk, or one run, or 1 mile, and let it begin.
We run for those who are in prison. We run for those who are in hospitals. We run for those who are in prison in their own homes. We run for those who are trapped in the disease of addiction. And we bring home our strength so we can serve those people and realize we're all one nation. the air, the water. We understand we can't live without it. So we thank the Creator for giving us the strength to walk, to run across this nation, and to be ambassadors with all nations.
If that's the sole extent of my father's legacy, right, his name in front of a building, his name in front of a park or a holiday, and the work for justice doesn't continue, then it would be hollow. So my mother, my brothers and sisters and I, we established the Cesar Chavez Foundation. And the idea was very simple. Let's look for ways to use my father's life and his work to inspire future generations of people. We're going to bring little kids here, 4th and 5th graders. And we're going to introduce La Causa to them. And we got to talk to them, and we have to introduce to them at an early age the importance of that immigrants and people of color bring to the society. So that when all of this anti-immigrant hysteria comes up, that they'll know how to put it into its proper perspective and see it for what it is. It's important that people learn at a young age that we have a moral obligation to be our brother's keeper. We really do. It's up to us to help our brothers and sisters.
You don't help people through acts of charity, even though it's important. You help them by building strong organizations that can deliver service and representation.
This is Mojave Desert or what?
Yeah, this is it.
This is it?
Yeah.
We have the Mojave greens out here, which are a very bad, aggressive snake, and they're not your average rattlesnake. It takes a special antivenom for them. Besides the digestive antivenom, they also have the neurotoxin that works on your lungs and kidneys, stuff like that, shuts you down. So if you get bit, you need to let them know that what kind of snake it was color-wise. But the Mojaves are especially aggressive. And with the rain we had last year, there's a lot of rats, rodents, so definitely, keep your eyes out for them.
Thank you, everybody.
In 1977, there was a meeting up in Vancouver, and this meeting was by the elders, and I attended the 3-day conference, and actually it was 4 days, and we talked about only one thing, a relationship that must exist, should exist, between human beings and this planet that we call Mother Earth. And they said that we don't have time to attack all the big conglomerates, the big business that pollute the waters, that pollute the rivers. We don't have time to go after the ones that contaminate the air with acid rain, and we don't have time to attack those that contaminate the soil. All we can do is strengthen our ceremonies. That's all we should do. And if we strengthen our ceremonies, we'll strengthen ourselves, we'll strengthen our foundation, and perhaps maybe by doing that, maybe this world will see what must be done.
This is your home. This is not just their house. This is everyone's home. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. And thank you for being here. We probably don't have much, but whatever we offer with our heart.
Sometimes there's not enough words to express what one feels because of the enormity of the action. Because like I've always said, I was saying in Spanish, it says, Las palabras se las lleva el viento, pero las acciones hablan. Words, the wind can take them away, but action is what speaks, and this is action. What you're doing is action. You're proving it. You're walking, running on Mother Earth, praying on Mother Earth, praying that it gets well, praying that they don't abuse it, that they don't make money off of it. And that's a strong prayer. I think that's the strongest prayer we can, because without this mother, we wouldn't have those beautiful flowers. We wouldn't be standing here breathing this wonderful air. We won't be here with this sacred rain that comes, with this beautiful desert that we walk through. You believe in peace. You believe that there should be no wars. You believe that we should honor each other, respect each other. And it makes me really honored to see you here. It makes me feel good.
The message that all life is sacred is why I'm here, and all life is sacred. To me, in many ways, that we learn from each other, we learn from other animals, we learn from all life. So the two-legged, the four-legged, the winged creatures, the snake people, the fish people, all together, we need to know how to take care of each other. And for some reason, it seems like us, the humans, have trouble taking care of everybody else. Everyone else seems to know how to take care of each other. So I think we need to learn from them. And I think they offer us a lot. You know, the answers are right here within them. And if we could figure out how to maybe look around and see all the damage we do, why we need things so fast, why we need so much. We need more things than we need, you know. And other animals only take what they need. They don't take more than they need. They don't take stuff to destroy stuff.
Stay on this side.
So, you know, kind of in that way, it's really hard to see as we go across this country this way, all the waste, all the mistreating of this mother here that we walk on. We get to put our feet down on her, pray in that old way that our ancestors prayed. And just for a few short days that we're out here, it makes a big difference. It helps if you get through the rest of the days. But we need to get this message out, and the work that's being done here, we need to grow this work. We need to figure ways to be more effective that way. So that's why I'm out here running here.
Where's that water? This one. No, the one to refill. I'm gonna refill it with this one in this bottle. Oh. Oh, do you want? Surreal, I thought you said you had like a couple of gallon jugs or something.
There's a big gallon somewhere.
But it's got cranberry.
We got cranberry on top.
Huh? Like it's like this. Oh, do you want that? Do you want to leave that? Some of that'll be fine.
Downhill was kind of, I know I'm going to feel my knees tonight though.
Yeah, same.
Downhill is thick.
Just up here too.
But you had a big hill to start.
I did, but you know, compared to yesterday's run, that was great.
All right.
But 15 miles for me is pretty challenging.
Oof.
It gets you thinking about a lot of things.
Push your face stronger.
Yep.
And don't worry, because it's just gonna give you gray hair and ulcers.
Exactly.
You'll find your way, your spiritual way. What is your spiritual direction in your life? Sure, we have to work, we have jobs, but what is it? What do you want to do besides that too?
All right. Get that pole straight up. Straight up. There we go. Okay. Oh, what a crew.
safe trip, and more people can receive your message.
According to the criminal complaint, Baranil Tawahunva admitted capturing 2 endangered eagles and caging them outside his home on the Hopi reservation. He told Hopi investigators he would, quote, go to jail for his people. The Hopi are allowed to gather 40 golden eagles every year, but only with proper permits from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Tawahunva and his nephew, who has also been charged, face up to 30 months in prison if convicted of violating federal laws that protect golden eagles. The complaint doesn't specify where the golden eagles were taken. The Hopi have been at odds in the past with Wupatki National Monument over taking golden eaglets from the park northeast of Flagstaff. The Hopi have argued they should be allowed to take eagles from the park, which is part of their ancestral homeland. Currently, though, they are only allowed to gather eagles on other public lands. The Hopi use the eagles and their feathers in religious ceremonies. For National Native News, I'm Daniel Crocker.
The park ranger, sir, takes care of Alcatraz. He says, well, Mr. Banks, he says, we can't give you the key to the city, but we honor what you do. So here's a key for the Alcatraz, the cell blocks.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Most people get keys to the city. I get keys to the cells. He was the vice president of the United Farm Workers.
Oh, working with Chavez?
Oh, yes. For most of her adult life. Even after she resigned, and there was a police beat her up. And
they don't care about woman or man.
Oh, no. No. But you know what? We're strong people. You know, billy clubs, mace, bullets, and everything else. Take it like water off a duck. Just shine it on. Keep moving.
Well, if you want to be there for the civil rights panel, it starts at 1. Dad, is your phone turned off?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did what we said we were going to do, and we started an underground. And that was a terrible disaster. Not only did we kill our own people, not only did we destroy SDS, not only did we split the anti-war movement over the bogus issue of the necessity to pick up the gun.
I might disagree with Mark about the weapons because on the reservation land, on some areas, we were backed up against the wall and a wounded knee. They came charging at us, and we gave orders to our young warriors that you have to return fire. You must return fire.
And in 1968, 1969, we were already shifting from that gun philosophy. We were shifting from it because we were being killed. But as Dennis said, it was strictly for self-defense. We understood. We didn't have a choice. Police were killing us in our communities. The Klan and racists in the South were killing us. The government was not giving us protection. We defended ourselves. They were playing with guns, not us. Our lives were on the fucking line.
Thank God I'm free at last.
one of the ways we were able to break down some of the racist ideas of some of the whites who were Southern, born and oriented, still fighting the Civil War, still thought that they were the rebel bank robbers. We had to break down their history and explain to them one of the reasons why you like Jesse James so much, you know, and all these rebel guerrillas who you see these movies, you know, robbing trains and banks, is because of the fact that they were dispossessed of their land, okay? The same time that we didn't get our 40 acres and a mule, you know, your land was taken so that the railways could be built across this country, so that the North or the federal government could just come in and use your properties the way they wanted. And in the meantime, what happened to you, your families, and the generation that came behind you? Some of you sitting right in this prison with us. But you were told that no matter what happened in this country, you would always be better than us. You would never fall to the state we are in. Now, you sitting on the same jailhouse toilet I am. You living and eating the same kind of food that I am eating. So what's the difference between me and you historically and politically? So we had to make them stop taking out their misplaced aggression against themselves and us and figure out who was really the cause of their anger and frustration and struggle against them.
Prison. Minnesota State Penitentiary.
How long?
I was sentenced to 30 years.
You were 30 years in prison?
I was sentenced to 30 years. But back then, they had an old parole system. So if you were good, you could get out, and I got out in 5 years. Because I done spent approximately 3 of those years in the whole solitary confinement.
They put you 3 years in solitary?
Yeah. So when I got out of solitary, I did 2 more years in general population in good behavior. They let me out in 5 years.
Holy shit.
C'est vrai, shit. Clyde, mais non. Clyde.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
It's right there.
What is this?
The Long Walk of the Navajos. That's what they called it. The Dene people being uprooted. The Mescalero Apache being uprooted by a man they call Kit Carson. Forcibly marching people. Not a few thousand, but tens of thousands of people. And marched them to Redondo Bosque Redondo, where many of us stopped to say a prayer. Many of us stopped to see the concentration camp. We have to look back in history to see the Trail of Tears. Maybe 16,000 people died on that 3-year march.
What was surreal about that yesterday is that I didn't remember seeing those other people there. Didn't he mention the fact that he had a pipe ceremony, smoked a pipe for the ancestors there, and then also sang a song. I sang a song there, pipe-loaded song, which is one of the songs you sing when you're loading the pipe, so to speak, and you put the tobacco in the pipe.
The trees, star people, stone people, creator put here on earth.
And that's why we had a good ceremony. A lot of people don't understand Stone people. You see many, many things I can't explain.
You know, we're so busy washing our bodies with soap, which cakes, cakes your body. You know, and the soap is what? Rendering from fat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Animal fat?
Yeah.
So what's this thing of put animal fat on our body, right?
Yeah.
And yet, when you sweat, it clears your pores out.
Yeah.
You know, you go sweat, jump in the river, you're clean. That's it. But because we eat all kinds of foods all the time, wrong foods, you don't have to see us after a while. You smell us. There's no reason for our body smells so bad.
Yeah.
You know, because it just shows you, we don't eat right.
It's a great Jewish son. Yeah. Poor Jewish son.
What do you call it? Venerable.
No, thank you.
Venerable.
No, thank you.
Make people very strong when they're
Yeah.
coming. I tell you, you got to listen
I
to
know,
that drum.
she made me learn how to endure, you know.
Yeah.
She's kind of tough. She's small, but watch out. Dance is just a stick. But the point is, I like to think of it in remembrance of the Bosque Redondo, something to take with me. Because remember, I also got them stones, the
Pecos River.
Pecos River diamonds, they call it.
Yeah.
And
you also got that sweatshirt.
yeah, I told that
Fort
man,
Sumter.
I was suddenly 80 years old, and I was chilly. So I said, I sure like that.
Not
sweat.
chili that you eat, chili cold.
So I told him I was cold, I'd like to think this gives people good luck, because at least that people thinking about you. I think it's remembrance of each other, these relatives or whatever.
Yeah,
Like in here could be his mom's stuff, you know what I mean? That's for this, for direction, or I like to symbolize black people, white people, red people, and yellow people, and the universal circle of life, which means it's no beginning and no end.
Right.
Of course, the life cycle, it's short. We live only so many years, but within that time, I think there's some things that we have to do, whatever it may be.
Thunder Boy, I asked you, Thunder Boy. I asked you, see the knife.
I got a really bad
I asked you,
headache
see the
today.
knife to help and protect each other. I asked you, Holy Boys. I asked you, Holy Boys, to come and watch over us. Killer Lonesome. I asked you, Killer Lonesome. Now I asked the companions of the 4 people that came from Purdy, Morning Star, Purdy Pain, and Butterfly Dancing. So watch for the butterfly. Oh, Matakia.
Oh, when you get to 32, that's where you start.
I was there.
Remember, it was the Black Panther Party that worked with AIM and Cesar Chavez's farm workers. We were the initiators and the promoters of the Young Lords, the Brown Berets, the Patriot Party in Chicago. So we were always a force for unity.
Moments of laughter and prayer creep up on me. Sweep time and space aside, momentarily transcending me past my current reality, where I am buried in concrete, where I am doomed to keep company with my successor, someone else's rewritten version of history. A legacy of loneliness, abandoned to an eternity of sacred memory. I am imprisoned, replaced, and forcefully hidden by the confines, lines, rhymes, and remote control lies of this concrete jungle.
He's resting on, yeah, Owen. He's got to do his own thing,
Hey, how far back are they?
Let me see some ID.
Huh?
Let me see some ID.
What are they?
He's D.
Huh?
I'm I and
C'est la
he's
vie,
D.
cabron.
Yeah. He just wanted to keep going. We just took like a 2-minute break, 5-minute break. Then he sent me up ahead to get some candy. Got charged up and off he's going. He still has it in his heart. He's teaching me how to act when I get his age.
When you carry these staffs, you should do the best you can and keep it going, keep it moving. The whole object is to carry a message from here to there, and that's all I'm doing. So, thank you very much. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm on him. Keep going, keep going.
It's pretty hard. It can be very hard. We all lose our spirituality, and that's the main reason. You know, I mean, there's no spirituality in the way we live now. You know, not a lot of people pray to appreciate what they have, where they've been, who they are, or where they're going. You know, and today's culture reinforces that. I mean, where is the spirituality in going to the fast food place and ordering a number 5 for you to eat? You know, when 100 years ago, 200 years ago, you know, we all prayed and went hungry for our food. We prayed when we found it, and we prayed when we ate it, and we prayed when we went to sleep, and we met the morning sun and offered prayer then too. It's gone. You know, and it's real hard to get people to understand that, or even try to, you know, because if people can understand the problem, then they may help find a solution.
Sure, 2313.
The whole ecosystem was changed. Forced animals to eat different kinds of grasses, right?
That's true.
These animals, that's why they were roaming all along to mainly of Nebraska. In Nebraska, they eat that, what they call buffalo grass.
No.
Toste.
Ah.
Dameda.
Tonto?
Yeah, last day, doesn't matter.
Tonight, massage.
By Dennis.
The gator will come up in the yard. She got this thick Cajun accent. She said, we'll just eat it.
You're gonna come up dead, or you're gonna come up madder than hell if you.
had a handful of that copal. And when I threw it on the rocks, everybody dove for cover because, man, boom!
A lot of people don't understand stone people. You see many, many things that I can't explain. Just stone people. You have to see your own thing.
Hey, anybody want to go to a powwow?
I was up there with this family, with Buddy, with Sister Viola, with brother-in-law Don, and with my daughter-in-law here. We heard some things that were very upsetting up there. We understand that the Cheyenne-Arapaho have an area up there that's very sacred, that's part of the Bear Butte area. And we're hoping that during the summertime, in the beginning of July, there's going to be some planning that's being done there so that there will be an encampment. I can't think of a way to say how they're treating that sacred land up there. They're digging it with bulldozers. They're flattening the hills all around there. They're building a bar where they could bring alcohol within a few minutes of where we're going to be sitting with our sacred pipes. They're doing things to make it where the motorcycle people can come in there and roar through that area, and with no regards to the people who are fasting, who are praying up there on that sacred hill. They're making it so that we of the Red Nations are set aside so that they could make some money by selling beer and by giving the motorcycles a place to park. We're not going to allow that. I'm the drum keeper for the Padata of the Ponca Nation. And we women folks have made a determination among ourselves as we follow the elder women of the Lakota Nation that were up there, that we're going to stand behind our men folks. We're going to stand behind them as we've always done. We're going to cook. We're going to take care of the children. We're going to give strength through prayer and through presence of our bodies, so that our men folks can go ahead and make a stand for us on this sacred mountain where they're trying to take over the last little bit that we have. This is a common land for all of us. Each and every one of our tribes, when we were up in that area where we naturally belonged, had a presence there on that sacred mountain. And through my brother's wishes, through my sister Viola, through all of us who care, we're asking for your presence this summer to come up there. Bring your tents, bring your teepees, bring your commodities, bring your bologna sandwiches. We're going to make a big kitchen up there. We're going to make a circle of sacredness that cannot be penetrated again. We need help. We need you to bring your drums. We need you to bring your bodies, your children, to come up there one more time and to enjoy yourself. that when we arrive there, that our medicine people, our lead men, lead women, will be able to give us direction. And if they tell us to stay there, then we're going to stay there. If they tell us to go home, then we'll go home, because we're going to follow the advice of all elders. But we're hoping for help and health for all of our relations through this way.
Bam! Get my face. Met first. Then after that, I met Theodore. These two are brothers. Yeah. I'm his brother, and he's my sister.
What kind of trouble you guys get into?
A lot of trouble.
They all know if I have to do my job, I'll do my job. They respect me for that. We'll go up here and we'll go the back way in this little Indian community right over here. Small town. I'm half Indian, half non. I'm part white, part Indian. I've lived with this my whole life. That racism, yes, I think it's still there. However, I've learned to, through the years, I'm 43 years old, I've learned to try to adapt to it. You know, I don't like it, yeah, it's out there, but I try to handle it in another manner. You know, basically, if I claim I'm one side or the other, then it's essentially my other side don't exist. So I walk on both sides of that world. Surreal.
Nice to meet you, Shirley.
Same here.
Good cause, a spiritual walk.
Yeah, I want him to hear this.
Okay, all right.
To protect the land is to protect yourself.
We had a lot of fires around here in the last couple to 3 months. Everything's been dry.
Calling for firefighters now. I think you still up to it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you come out. We'll help you and come out and help you and get you through that. Whatever we can do to help you.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to help you guys to go out and help your mom, help your family, help that job. You know, it'll help you. You know, but you know, like I said, follow those instructions we put down. You know, we've got basic guidelines.
Yeah.
You know, but it's all there for a purpose. And there again, us as one, working together with a few others, like he said, that whole circle, we'll be able to help other people and help
everybody like that. Yeah.
We're stronger as in unity. A lot of that going on around here. A lot of drilling. In Oklahoma, the United States Congress, the federal government says, we as a tribal government, we have no criminal jurisdiction over non-Indians if they commit a crime on Indian land.
Yes, Jim. Which town?
I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
The girl's been running like, what, 6 miles so far? Oh, already?
They're doing great.
Do they have enough mileage to do their...
They didn't, and so what we did was we went past the church a little ways and brought them back around to give them their 26.
He drove his car out of the accident area, onto the parking lot area, and the police were there. And
if they had to pick up like the load off of George's vehicle, he's gonna have to drive that into Star City, drop it off, and then come back out to pick up the walkers. He's got your cell phone.
George has my cell. But
George don't got a cell, does he?
4 hours and a half. She did it in about 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, good.
What happened?
Try on.
Les, can you turn the car on so it heat up a little bit?
Yes, I can.
So it warm up for her?
三種の神。第10 8000 8000 8005億8005億兆大原子。この数を150億重ねた。第9の回転より8005億8005億兆を500億重ねた。その速さの上に乗って8005億8005億兆年を2500億年重ねた。昼夜兼業に行いつつ、これ即第一票の入りなり今日た。大乗近現混合万体土水、大乗大自然大震源、大血縁ラジウム白金酸素インパク、この6つの働く力の数、8005億8005億兆倍大、広さ深さ長さ重さの数大、これすなわち7500億兆年間昼夜兼業に行いつつ、これ即太陽の毒撃滅のため、これ即第一票の入り。世界大会生物、一切の働く力の数、8005億8005億兆倍大。広さ、深さ、長さ、重さの数大。これすなわち7500億兆年間昼夜兼業に行いつつ、これ即天下太平五国成就。世界の大悪鬼悪年悪毒撃滅のため、これ即第一票の入りなり。不老不死、不老不死、不老不死。陸の総主権、大日本国土暗い山今日ただいま。海の総主権、大深海大老業今日ただいま。May peace prevail in Whitehall. May peace prevail on Arkansas. May peace prevail on America. May peace prevail on earth. ありがとう。
You are up against the wall, and you endured hundreds of years of brutality and slavery and just, bigotry and prejudice and racism. Something's got to give. Something had to snap. And so when they came charging at us at Wounded Knee, our warriors were ready.
In '66, we were called a self-defense organization. We were called a revolutionary action organization. We don't apologize for that. All you got to do is look at those civil rights snippets on Eye on the Prize, deal with the bombings in Birmingham. You see what was happening to black people.
What we did at Wounded Knee took a stand. I was dragged into jail, in the trial, in court in St. Paul, Minnesota. And they started reading these indictments off. I'm charged with this and that. I'm charged with this and that. And I was facing 250 years in prison, plus a life sentence. Plus a life sentence. I used to joke around with Clyde Belcourt. I said, geez, Clyde, I don't know what we'll do first. I might do the life sentence first, and then I'll start out on my 250 years. The reason why we laughed about it, because it was absurd. It was absurd of that Justice Department. And when they failed in that courtroom to convict us, the Justice Department, they failed miserably. The judge threw out the charges against us and said that he dismissed the charges because of governmental misconduct. The wiretapping, the fabrication of evidence. The judge became angry, and I thought he was the most racist judge in South Dakota at the time. But when he saw the corruption in his own courtroom, he ended up by saying that you have polluted the Justice Department, you have polluted the waters of justice.
See, there's where we are. There's where we are right there.
And then this is like how big that.
So that's where they're the sacred images up top there.
I don't know what they meant by sacred images, though. They cut off that top of the hill, and then they brought in the dirt to make this.
I'm here from Natchez. I've been living here, my whole life. Mississippi was famous, for the Klan, the KKK, and it was bad here. And I know a lot of people, a lot of older people that were involved with it. I know there is still racism in Natchez, and I think that but it's getting to a point that we're getting past that. My generation, anyway, it's easier for us to be more open-minded and have more liberal ideas and everything about, race issues. Now, I don't really have any problem getting along with the other race.
What if you had to marry a black woman? What if you fall in love with a black woman? How would that be perceived?
That would be a little weird. Probably. Yeah, that's about where they'd probably draw the line.
Today?
Yeah. Do I feel that I could fall in love with a black lady?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know if y'all are a Christian group, but yeah, I believe that that's what Jesus was here to try to get us to do is to, if we have faith in Him and we do the things that He asks us, all He asked us to do is to do exactly what you said, to get together and unite and just build relationships with all different kinds of people and to get along with everybody and just love everyone.
What am I doing out here?
3.1.
Hold on there.
You're doing good.
4.1.
3.1.
And here I'm an old guy, 66, ready for retirement. And he's got me walking this highway in Mississippi. I heard Mississippi was the Delta land, flat. And this freezing weather after a poor breakfast of pizza. That's bad. What am I doing out here? Young men should be running up them hills, and here I'm crawling up them hills, wondering if I'll make the next one. But that's not so bad.
Make a right and go up the hill, and you're right there. Yeah. All right, Nate. All right. Peace, brother.
My role model when I was 20 years old was Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, people in the struggle, Fidel Castro, Che Guevara. Those were our heroes. But the average kid today want to be Beyonce or Eminem, whatever these hip-hop and popular culture idols are.
Because we worked under very extreme conditions. In the jute mill, for instance, textile mill, there was no ventilation, so people were always coming up with what is called a black lung disease, dying from the lung diseases. People would get their arms and their fingers cut off. Not only did you not have compensation for that, you didn't have any protection against it. So, we saw the prison labor force as just a modern type of slavery. And instead of just blacks being conscripted into the slavery force, anybody who fell into the net Anyone who fell into the trap in American society and then found themselves in prison would become slaves.
First people here, last to be served.
A lot of prayers was put into this food to help you guys walk, to help you guys run this morning, you know, and the spirit of each one of those foods was prayed on and asked to help you along your walk and along your run, you know. I want to thank y'all for giving of yourself to come over here to be with my people and to bring awareness to my tribe, to let people from all over the world know that we are here, we're still alive. The cowboys did not kill all of us off, you know. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of y'all, the way y'all giving of yourself for us here. And for the next few days, you know, we're going to keep this power going. Because there got people down those bayous where we're going to go walk and run at, that, you know, they're unable to come over here with the chief at her house and these people to see what's happening here. You know, they can't leave for whatever reason. They might be gutting out their house because they have no place to stay right now and they need to try to fix their place up. So a lot of reason why some of those Houma people is not here. So don't go think they're not here because they're not want to support you. They have their hands full, you know. We're here though, and we're here to tell you thank you for all that y'all doing for us over here, because that's what people are supposed to do, help one another. You know, if the other one is down, you pick them up, you know. So, and this is what y'all doing here.
Oh yeah.
There's everything in the bayou.
When I get out of prison, I want to be part of a movement that's going to address some concerns. And when I got out in 1968, I went knocking door to door. This is how the American Indian movement was formed, because of police brutality, bad brutality in Minneapolis, I think.
You know what I mean?
The high unemployment rate that was facing us, the slum conditions where we had to live.
They're all different.
And the government's failure to honor the many treaties that have been signed in this country with Native people.
You want your gun for this, huh?
Yeah.
There you go. Is that awesome? Stillwater. Isn't that neat?
We've got to be walking to it. Every time they clear cut the forest,
We've got to be there. Take back our future. Are y'all ready for us?
Yeah, we can ready, man. They're gonna be here tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Yes.
They wanted our land. They wanted to destroy anything that was left of being Indian.
Mind telling me what you're doing here?
No, not at all. We're covering the Sacred Indian Run as part of our news coverage for the local area. We work quite a bit with the Choctow, and they have chosen to participate in the 2006 Sacred Run, and we're here.
How you doing, boo? Doing okay? All right. How you doing, boo? Oh,
How you doing, man?
Hi, boo.
Oh, ça va?
Hey, ça va bien? Comment ça va? Oh, ouais, c'était bien bon.
You're witnessing one of the oldest American sport, Choctow stickball. Perhaps this is the only place that you will witness this game as it is played. Other than some groups like Cherokee and Creeks in Oklahoma, we're probably the only group in all of North America that still play the game. Young runner, looks like. Sacred runner, maybe. The Choctaws are used to running. Fast runners playing this path. Enjoy some hamburgers, nacho, some drinks, water, and lemonade. As I stated earlier, this game is known as Brother to War, and you can see some examples when some of the players are tackled, and one is down right now. I don't know if he's hurt. No, I guess not. The people who will be the officials will sit in the middle of the stickball field and smoke the peace pipe. We're probably the only group in all of North America that still play the game. Folk Chiller Development Club is having a feast. The championship game will have all of that during the Choctow Indian Fair.
Invited to the circle. Head man, head lady. Show them how it's done.
Okay, follow the head man demonstration.
You can watch it move. You can watch the earth turn. It's just not a symbol. It means something. The circle and the wheel and all of it means something. There's a story in there somewhere.
You made my heart bigger. Finish the run out strong. We'll be with you guys.
Genocide was committed against our people. You know, there are page after page of history of the making of this country. The taking of our lands is filled with blood, filled with horrible stories of how they took this land.
Didn't I honor you?
Yes, you did, brother.
And say that I would be here? And then you told me, remember, you go at the Sundance. This is my last year, and you'll be dancing 3 years by yourself. Did I leave you by yourself yet?
I'm telling you, man.
I didn't leave you by yourself, did I?
I got 7 years to finish them 3 years or 4
Yeah,
years.
but see,
Is that right? Or 11 years?
Hey, but ain't that right? I didn't leave you, did I?
I'll take a break.
And I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you alone either. I'm leaving you with all of our brothers, man.
Right. We got a lot
I'm
of
not leaving you alone right now while I go to California.
Hey, tell Antonio that I'll see him when I get there.
Oh,
But
well.
all this is done after we're going back downtown. I really do want to get this.
Stephen Gaskin was a teacher in California, and he became a focal point as a spokesperson for our movement. He got invited by a group of Methodist ministers to come on a speaking tour around the country, try to help solve some of the generation gap that they were experiencing with the Vietnam War and the young people, you know, strife in the streets and all that. So he was living in a school bus because it was something that you could buy pretty cheap, fix it up. When he said, well, I'm going to go on this tour in my bus, a bunch of his friends said, well, can we come too? And he said, well, you got to get your own buses. And so everyone went out and got buses, and we ended up leaving San Francisco with about 40 school buses and about 20 other bread vans, big trucks that people had fixed up, and that was known as the Caravan. And so that went, you know, all the way around the country, kind of on a northwest through New York, down through D.C. And so when we landed on the farm, that's what we landed in. People basically just drove as far as they could in the woods, found a spot to pull over, and, you know, jacked them up on blocks, and that's, you know, became our initial housing. As we were on our bus tour, we were trying to figure out, you know, we wanted to take responsibility for our own lives. You know, we don't want the government, we don't want the corporations controlling our lives. We want to be in as much control of our lives as possible. And a number of our women at the time had already had some hospital births and seen what it was like to be basically just shoved aside and shot up, knocked out, all the tragedies that go along with sterile hospital birth. And so when we were on the Caravan, we had people that were pregnant and started having their babies while we were out on the buses. Being the flower children, we just kind of prayed that everything was going to go okay. Most of the time that's true, but what we learned, you know, with some kind of hairy experiences, basically at the first time a baby that needed some breaths in order to make it, was that this is not fooling around. You got to learn what it takes to do this. And so when we landed here in Tennessee, we made friends with a local doctor who had been servicing all the Amish people who have natural childbirth. He encouraged us to do it to ourselves. The county, again, having the Amish paving the way, said, here's your birth certificates if you're going to do this, and here's your death certificates, because You're going to have them coming and going. We did find out a couple of years later we had to have our own cemetery. But the midwives, really got in there, learned it, and put out the offer that anybody could come here and have their baby for free. And, in some cases, if people were going to have an abortion, they could come and have their baby and leave it, and we'd take care of it. And usually, the moms end up taking the babies, or they'd maybe do it for a couple of years and then come back and get their baby. My wife is one of the midwives. She's been doing it 25 some odd years, and she still gets that call in the middle of the night and she's gone. Part of our consciousness that we tried to build here in the community is right livelihood. It's a Buddhist precept, but it's just one of those clear things that makes sense. Do something that you believe in and something you can do with your heart, honest work. People came here and we farmed a lot, we raised a lot of food, and at the time of the changeover, the whole corporate industry is geared against the farmer in so many ways. If you have a good year, so does everybody else, the prices go down, and then you're struggling against weather, and it's just a very difficult way to make a living. The farm has about 200 people, and we're on 1,750 acres. For $250 a month, we have 1,700 acres. That picks up your trash. We have 5 miles of road, probably 7 miles of water system, our own water system that we have to maintain. So it costs us about $100 grand to $125 grand a year to run the community. I've been on the board of Peace Roots, and we just have a number of interesting projects, from More Than Warmth, which goes into public schools and gets kids to think about violence. They draw a quilt square with a message of peace, and it has to be non-political and non-denominational, so no American flags and no crosses. It can be just a pure message of friendship to another culture. So it gets the kids thinking about what does that mean, and what there is a kid somewhere whose family's being bombed. So they have to write a letter to that kid. So that's just one of the projects. We have a billboard thing that we call Signs of Peace, where we put up about 200 billboards around the country that say things like "Peace is patriotic," with a big white dove and an American flag, to kind of reclaim that so that it doesn't necessarily just get to belong to the right wing. And now our current campaign is support the troops, bring them home now. We're just working our message and getting something that can float out there in the mainstream. So you're not just preaching to the choir, trying to bridge across with a message that other people can relate to.
What happened to free love?
Well, we actually learned about that early on, because we actually helped take on a lot of the single moms that got left behind when people didn't take responsibility for the children they created. When we first started the community, the way we kind of got a grip on that is we just told folks, look, if you're making love, you're engaged. And if you're pregnant, you're married.
Look over here.
part of what you do. We appreciate it.
A magnificent job. Magnificent. Prison in South Dakota. See, there was this, she was outside and beating the drum, chanting and praying. And, you know, inside a prison, nobody can come visit unless they're your relatives. Yeah. And so they told me that there was this Japanese girl from Japan wanted to interview me. So they approved her. She had credentials. Her name was Yuri Morita. And so she came in to interview me, but when they're bringing her in, Jun-san was with her. And so she came in as assistant to Morita. And when we had lunch, she pulled out this lunch bags, and in there they had croquettes and rice balls. And I said, yeah! Those old prison guards, you know, they were trying to keep me down in my spirit, but, you know, right in front of them, they were so security-minded. They didn't realize they were bringing in my lunch. They always told me that, you know, I couldn't order anything special from the. They said, "You're not special here, Mr. Banks. You don't get food like that. You eat what we eat." And so, lunchtime, I'm eating croquettes. Only Jun-san can do that. Are we going to leave to the seventh generation clean water? Are we going to leave clean soil? They're going to say 100 years from now, you know, we're buying bottled water right now. If we have to come and sit in 100 years from now, all of us wearing oxygen masks, you know, is that the kind of legacy we're going to leave to them?
Good morning again.
How's kid doing?
He's okay. I mean, you don't have to hold it like right on top of it. What it does is the heat will pull the moisture out of your foot.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Yeah,
Clean pair of
thanks.
socks.
Hobble, 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 hobble.
It's a funny thing that Native American people are one of the few people that have invisible prisons all over across this country.
What time?
2:56.
Oh, okay. 4 minutes. No, we're going till 3:30. We got half an hour.
Just tell Jim that we're cutting out.
End of life is sitting right over here. Enough nuclear force to destroy the entire Earth.
Right behind you, you have people that don't want to understand. They've already been bought off. So they sit back there in their uniforms and the big guns. They sit back there because they got something to hide. You know, if you don't have anything that you're not a thief, you don't hide things, you don't lie to the people, you don't have to have a gun on you to do that. So anytime you have this vigil and you see this, you know, we're the ones that's telling the truth. Those people behind there are the vigilantes, not you. And you know, to keep you from going into a place, your own land, Indian land, we can't even go in there because they'll throw us in jail for what? For telling the truth. So they can sit out there with their guns and everything. Doesn't worry me one bit because that one upstairs watches over every one of us. So I mean, they can kill people, but you know, they can't kill the spirit of a people, and we must remember that.
When it comes down to having a choice or not having a choice, then I would probably stand there and fight along with you guys. I'm a veteran, Crane's a veteran, a lot of people here are veterans, so that makes us all veterans for what we're doing right now. Thank you.
Look, they're walking away now because they know we're not going to hit them with clubs or whatever. And it's amazing the strength that you have. More people in this country needs to be here, not just a few here. There should be more people running and walking across this country. They're not here. So who's the problem? A lot of it is our own problems because we don't get involved with things. And it has nothing to do with cameras and all that other stuff, because it has to do it between us and the Creator. And the one thing it talks about is our own egos. It talks about humility. How can you have humility? All you do is spend all your day taking pictures of somebody.
Oh,
1977, over there in the halls of Congress, they introduced 11 bills, 11 pieces of legislation which would have terminated all of the treaties made in this country between the government and native tribes. They would have taken the land, what remaining land that we have, they would have taken it and they would have given it to the states. Then they would have divided it up that way. 11, not just 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 6, but 11 of them. They tried to get us in many different ways. They wanted our land. Definitely an honor, big caps honor to take part in the Sacred Run. Thank you, Dennis, and everyone for making Choctow part of the team. You are always welcome here on the Choctow Indian Reservation, especially the Bach Chito community. We got Yoki, for all my relations, Elijah K. Jimmy. If you remember, he was one of the runners. I think the first runner. Running like a deer. And the CFL, it's just Choctow for life. Very good. From Choctow, Mississippi. We had 2 dogs at the beginning of this run. For those of you who just joined us today, and these dogs were half wolf, but they're gone. I want to tell you that they taste like crocodile. I noticed today, like, take a drive, take a right out of the driveway, go 0.8 miles. Take a left, go 0.1 miles. Thank you so much. And then to Arlington, about 43 miles, about. So,
I knew from my dreams and the things I've been told by my elders that I had many challenges out here all about myself, about my heart and my spirit. I didn't want to face them. But now that I have, I'm glad. I've met family, I've met friends, I've met the nations of the world. It touched my heart. And I thank you all.
It's made a big impact on the Choctow Reservation.
Thanks to everyone, and especially all the people we met along the way who aren't here.
Keep walking, and maybe I'm soon Vitaya, so young people, keep walk. Thank you very much.
Thanks to all you guys. It was cool walking with you guys. And for the people that found us places to stay and stuff to eat.
Thank you.
It's just beautiful to see such voracious individuality and truth in just single human beings.
To all the people that couldn't stay with us all the way, but that came for 1 or 2 days. And I'd like to thank everybody that found us a place to sleep, and the people that cooked for us and who got food for us. I'd just like to thank everybody.
First, I want to thank the Creator for this safe journey, because nobody got hurt, and we all got here. Before we talk of love, before we talk of unity, we talk of tolerance. This is a very diverse group. We all understand the meaning of Mother Earth. We all understand that we need to protect Mother Earth by any means. But we need to protect each other, and in order to protect each other, we must first accept each other. And the differences of each and every one of us is what made us strong. We all have different paths, but we come together, we accept each other, and we feel very, very empowered by that.
Thank you for that rain there coming down when I speak. And thank everybody for sharing those tears. It reminds me of all the tears that were shared on this run. You know, thank everybody for sharing that and their stories and their teachings. Houma Nation.
She'll always be there taking care of us, feeding us, keeping us clean, giving us water, air to breathe, place to sleep, everything. Arigato, baby.
I brought these stick busters with me to let y'all know what type of game we play. And since this is a sacred run, I want to make this like a sacred stick. So that way, down the generation, I could like pass it to my kids, and my kids could pass it to their kids, and so on.
This is like the beginning of an end, and I appreciate all the power that you guys have given me, and I'll take it back home. Okay.
You are the power, you are the justice, you are the peace, you are the love.
It was a great, great honor to have you at the Peace Pagoda in the Smoky Mountains.
It's touched my heart. It's changed me. I learned how to love people, all people. I was pretty rough around the edges in the beginning, but through prayer and running and walking, it's been a tremendous gift.
As you walk, you spread hope, and you touch thousands of people.
When my oldest son was born, I thought about what do I need for him for the future, for him to be able to survive. And I decided that he needed world peace and he needed a healthy Mother Earth. And it means so much to me to have found a whole lot of people who are working for those two things. And I want to thank everybody for helping me raise my children. That's too big a job for me to do by myself.
Thank you so much, and I'll keep on going. So see you again. Thank you.
I don't know, I want to say thank you for letting me be part of your family. It's been great. Thank you.
I just hope that we can, you know, walk together and run together again.
I especially want to thank the people that ran and walked the whole way from San Francisco to Washington, D.C. It's been an awesome physical, spiritual, and emotional time for all of us.
I'd like to thank everybody. This has been a great experience, and I'm going to miss you guys. And That's it. I wasn't a runner either. I had never done any long distance running. But I'm hooked.
Sure, I'll see you on the road sooner or later. I love you all with all my heart. Whenever you're in Cincinnati, you got a home.
Some people were going for spirituality. Maybe they wanted to. Sometimes the spirituality is right under your nose. I grown to love you all. Thank you.
I hope it's not, that's not the last. We defeated these people here because an idea that we could walk across this country. Because of that, we were able to go forward and have gaming industries. A lot of people don't like those casinos, but a hell of a lot more go visit them. And this has turned into a $20 billion industry for us. And it goes to show you that with strength like this, things can happen. Big things will happen. 8,000 miles total running. How many miles? 8,000. All right. So.
1,000 times it seems, but every time another year's gone by in our lives. You might be a baby learning how to crawl, or you might be a teenager learning how to fall, and maybe you're a mother, or maybe you're a grandpa. Whoever you are right now, remember most of all, live your life, chase your dreams, teach a lesson to our kids, 'cause we're only for a little while. You might be a baby learning how to crawl, and you might be a teenager learning how to fall, and maybe you're a mother, or maybe you're a grandpa. Whoever you are right now, remember most of all, live your life, chase your dreams, and teach a lesson to our kids, 'cause we're only for a little while. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Free Leonard Peltier. We love Leonard.